Ope African goods ato. Say yen toma, inku, ahwenye, movies simpo, ana se enyum CD. Onia, to weniche Makola African supermarket, ne hodie. Omum ni uhwamoda eye ya ye nua nana any gifty ena akofa Makola African supermarket aba Illinois ha uhwehwe omechi akwan a obenyo mo 1019 1017 West Wilson Chicago Illinois 60640 anasa frɛ won ewo 773 654 1971 Onia eya wo se wote abrochens wunya Ghana nyama nto a ene fa weniche Makola African supermarket na wo best serisa Upe baby ubenya Ghana nnuane papa edi ama wakuma ato uyema enwani Grace African Restaurant mami abna boa ma akofade abrayen wo Chicago Illinois Chrome ha onia fufu na opese wudie benku ana atu ozafi enwani se wudi weni chire 4409 North Broadway Street Chicago Illinois 60640 ana se upese mami Grace eye eduane wo birthday party ase eyie ana se wotu obedi ene frene e wo 773 271 6000 and 773-759.
All right, thank you all for tuning in to WJT 98.3 FM, your voice and music, your station. My name is Jeff Badu, and I'm a licensed certified public accountant. I'm a serial entrepreneur and a wealth multiplier, CEO and founder of Badu Enterprises, LLC, which is a multinational conglomerate that offers a suite of financial services, including tax preparation, tax planning, credit repair, financial consulting, and things of that nature. So today we'll be having a discussion on business credit. Last time we talked about personal credit, how to improve your personal credit score, different techniques and things of that nature, best practices. And today we'll be talking about business credit. How do you build business credit? Why you should have business credit? Different ways to check your business credit score and different and things along those lines. Before we do that, I would like to kick it off with a market report. This report is as of August 9, 2019, so as of last Friday. Fearful that the ongoing trade war between the United States and China could slow economic growth at home and abroad, investors have pulled money from stocks and adopted a wait-and-see approach. Not only has the trade war impacted the market, but further interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve that were anticipated earlier this summer now may not be in the offering. While the benchmark indexes are still well ahead of their 2018 year-end values, they're only marginally up from where they were this time last year. Remember last year we had a huge drop, starting towards the end of the year. We were up during the year, we were doing great, and then towards the end of the year we just dropped. So who knows what might happen. But compared to a year earlier, the Dow is 3.3% ahead. The S&P is up 3.5% ahead. And the NASDAQ is up 2.9%. While the Russell 2000 down 9% and the Global Dow down 3.8% are behind last year's pace. Money has poured into long-term bonds, driving prices higher and, of course, yields lower. Oil prices fell from $55.23 per barrel to $54.27. Price of COMEX gold went up $14.5270 to $15.0910. So far this year, the Dow Jones is up 12.69%. The NASDAQ is up 19.95%. NASDAQ is composed mainly of technology stocks. S&P 500 is up 16.43%. And the Russell 2000 is up 12.20%. Last but not least, Global Dow is up 8.44%. The Federal Reserve did go ahead and lower interest rates in the prior week or earlier this month. And so ultimately, the Federal Reserve reduced interest rate earlier this year. And so now the benchmark interest rate is at 2% to 2.25%. With that being said, let's go into business credit. This is one of my favorite topics anytime I teach an entrepreneurship course. One of the topics that I like to talk about is essentially business credit. So when it comes to business credit, it is very important to establish business credit early on in your business. It's very, very critical. You want to have business credit because you never know when you'll need it. Essentially, what you have to do is you have to use personal credit So in order to apply for business credit as a brand new business or a fairly new business, you have to use your personal credit in order to establish or in order to obtain the business credit. So in order to understand business credit, you have to understand personal credit first, which is what we went over last week in our segment. So if you need to refer to that, please check out my website, jeffbadu.com. We just posted the video today on the website or on our YouTube channel. You can also find it on my Facebook page at Jeff Badu. And I'd like to take this time to welcome you all to Money Talks. And thank you all for tuning in to WJT 98.3 FM. This is Money Talks, where all we talk is money. If you would like to make any contributions or any comments, things of that nature, you can feel free to chime in. We're live on Facebook. You can find me at Jeff Badu on my Facebook page. You can also call into the studio, 773-942-7167. Once again, 773-942-7167. Definitely thank you all for tuning in, and let's continue the show. So you have to understand personal credit, which we talked about last time, in order to really chime in, or in order to really understand business credit. You need good personal credit in order to obtain the business credit. Now, what are some of the reasons why you might even need business credit? You might be wondering, okay, I'm new in business. I mean, what is this whole business credit thing? Well, you might need some new equipment. What if you're a company that requires machinery? You might need some equipment in order to make a product, or in order to generate a service or provide a service. So that's one of the reasons why you may need business credit. You may need business credit to buy some materials or some raw materials. You may need some business credit for some advertising. You may need it for some, you might, whatever it is, let's say you're a production company, you need business credit to produce the movie, or to produce that shoot, or to get the materials that you need. So ultimately, we all need business credit. As business owners, there will be a point in time where we will need business credit. And guess what? And also, it helps you expand your business. And I'll give you a secret. At the beginning of every tax season, we actually go out and take out some business credit. We take out some lines of credit. Why? Because revenue is usually slow towards the end of the year, so we need some sort of jump. We need that, that hump in the business where we go out and take business credit in order to beef up our advertising. What we do every year is we buy a lot of ad space on Yelp. This past year, we bought out the remaining ad space for accountants on Yelp in Chicago. So that's one thing big that we did. So we use business credit. And of course, with that, it helped us grow our business because it helped us gain more clients. How do we go from, 750 clients to now over 1,500? Because we invested into advertising. There's no way we can grow our business if we don't advertise, or even if it's word of mouth. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind, is that in order to grow a business, you have to use these things. Now, if you have cash in the bank, more power to you. Nothing wrong with having cash. Cash is king after all. But at a point in time, you will need to utilize business credit. For example, in our real estate business, we use a lot of credit. We get loans for all of our buildings. Whenever we need a rehab, big rehabs, we go out and get lines of credit and things of that nature. And check out this point. It's best to have credit or business credit when you don't even need it than to not have it when you do need it. I'll repeat that. It's best to have it when you don't even need it than to not have it when you do need it. And that's something very important to know when it comes to business credit. It's best to establish it early and often. What you're doing is you're getting a business credit card. And we'll go through the logistics in a second. You're getting a business credit card and you're simply holding on to it. Maybe you're swiping once a month and you're building that credit. They care about payment history when it comes to business credit. So it's important to establish business credit early and things of that nature. And then if you don't have good personal credit, guess what? You might know somebody who does. So find somebody else and give them a cut. In one of my businesses, thankfully, my mother had pretty good credit. And she had established credit, so she was able to help us gain business credit in our real estate company. So if you don't know somebody with good or established credit, then please, or if you yourself don't have good or established credit, then please go ahead and ask somebody. They just might say yes. And remember, there will come a point in time where you will need business credit. Trust me. As much as we think we might not need it, business credit is very important to have. We have to have business credit. I'll give you a few examples. And these aren't examples because we simply enhance our business by having it. So there's a tax sale auction that happens in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is one of the towns in the state of Indiana. And this auction happens about 3 times a year. It's called the tax sale auction, where essentially you're buying up people's property taxes that they haven't paid. You're paying the county in order to be issued a tax lien certificate on the person's home. If the person does not pay you within a 6-month time period, you get to file a tax deed, or you get to file a claim or a lien against the person's house in order to get a deed. And once you get the deed, you essentially own the house. So we basically found out about this, and we said, hey, this is great investment opportunity. But we didn't have the cash at the time. So we said, okay, well, we had some partners with some good credit, and we formed an LLC. We went and got a Chase Inc. business credit card, and I'll explain the different types of credit cards and all that good stuff. But we got a Chase Inc. credit card. It had a $10,000 limit. We took $9,000 of it. We basically did a balance transfer check, got a $9,000 check, wired that money into the bank, and we took this $9,000 and we ended up with 10 buildings at the tax sale auction. Now, some people paid us back. Some buildings we lost due to fires and things of that nature, but we got to keep a few buildings. So that was an investment that was using a 0%, and this credit card had 0% interest for 12 months. This was an opportunity to utilize business credit. And then how do we plan to pay it off? Well, the money that we make, we go ahead and pay it off. Anytime somebody pays us back, an owner pays us back, we put that towards the card. So there are ways to expand your business using business credit. So that's just one primary example. Now, how do you get business credit? We've already talked about you need personal credit to get business credit. So the first step is you have to understand personal credit. You have to understand it pretty well. The next step is you have to go on a site called nav.com, nav.com. Nav.com is essentially it's basically your Credit Karma of businesses. So it shows you your business credit score. It gives you the factors and all that good stuff. So if you don't have a nav.com right now, if you don't have an account right now, it's free. It's 100% free. And you have a business, please go to nav.com, nav.com, and go ahead and get an account. You get an account for free. They ask you a few questions. You tell them all about your business, about your personal. And on the home screen, you'll see 2 scores. You see your business credit score, and then you see your personal credit score. Now, a bonus tip, I would highly recommend that you get a DNB or Duns & Bradstreet number. DNB number is basically your business credit score number. So it's highly recommended. When it comes to a business, there's really DNB number, Duns & Bradstreet, and then there's also the Experian number. So the Experian number basically comes with the business automatically as long as you have a tax ID number. But you do want to have a DNB or Duns & Bradstreet number. It's also free. I mean, they might try to charge you, but to my knowledge, it is free to get the number itself. So you want to get that DNB number. It's going to show up on your Nav, when you create your profile on nav.com. And the thing I like about Nav, it's like Credit Karma, where it tells you what you qualify for. So if you go to the credit card section at the top, I believe top right corner of the screen, you can click credit cards, and as long as you filled in accurately all the information about yourself, about your business, it's going to tell you what credit cards you qualify for based off success rate. So, for example, the reason why we got the Chase Inc. credit card was because my partner had a 100% success rate in getting that card. We applied for it directly on Nav. Of course, Nav gets a cut from Chase or whoever anytime you apply for a credit card. And we ended up getting the card. So you get the business credit card, or you go to that section and you see what you qualify for. Just look at what you qualify for. So that's one, and we'll go through the specific types of business credit cards in a second. I do want to get to a very important point. There's really there's more, but three main types of financing when it comes to a business. There's a business credit card, a business line of credit, and then there's a term loan. So all business credit cards are lines of credit, but not all lines of credit are business credit cards. It's a very important point. The reason why all credit cards are lines of credit is because they give you a term. For example, they give you a payment. It's a revolving item, so meaning that you can go back and use it any time, but they give you a term to pay it off over. So they can say, okay, you pay me $25 every month for the next 10 years until it's paid off. Of course, when it comes to credit cards, you might want to pay it off sooner because interest will kill you. But overall, you have business lines of credit, business credit cards, and then a term loan. On nav.com, you have all three of these options. So let's go through some specifics. When it comes to the business credit cards, these are the top 3 credit cards that I highly advise that you at least look into. And remember, you can get business credit the day that your business is formed. You just need to link your personal credit, but it's complicated. I'll explain in a second. So the Chase Ink card is my favorite business credit card. I like the Chase Ink card because it offers 0% interest for about 12 months or 1 year. It has rewards points, so you get they have the Chase Ink Unlimited, which gives you about 1.5%. Every time you swipe the card. So for every dollar you spend, they'll give you 1.5%, which is pretty close to inflation, actually. And then they'll give you about $500 or so if you spend $3,000 within the first 3 months. Great rewards, 0% interest, and it's a hassle-free type of card. They won't give you any problems as long as you're making your payments on time. When it comes to the 0% interest, you have to be very careful. If you know how to invest, it's fine to max out the card, because when it comes to business credit, they care about your payment history more than anything. So they really focus on your payment history more than anything when it comes to business credit. So overall, you definitely want to, take advantage of the 0% interest. But if you're not disciplined enough, or if you don't know about investing, then you have no business taking full advantage of the 0% interest. All you have to do to build the business credit, swipe the card one time each month and pay it off immediately after you swipe the card. For me as an investor, I understand investment, so I'm comfortable utilizing the 0% interest for an investment that I know can make me way more than 0%. So the Chase Ink card I really like. It's a very nice card. It looks nice, lovely, clean, all that good stuff. And then you have the Amex or the American Express, the quote-unquote unlimited card. It's not really unlimited. So they have the corporate card, the gold card, and then the platinum. I like the platinum the best because it gives you the best travel rewards. It gives you, they're giving you 5 times the miles every time you travel, which is huge. You get world class. It's some good stuff with that. With the Amex Platinum card, it has a pretty high limit too when you start off. But with the Amex card, the thing I like about it is an unlimited card, meaning that when you swipe it, there's no limit to it. There's no preset limit. However, they will have an internal preset limit. So if you try to buy a boat the next day after getting the card, you'll probably be declined for that. You do have to pay it back within 30 days. So it's not like your traditional credit card. But once you establish good history, they do have a program that allows you to pay it off, let's say within 6 months or so. And the nice thing with this card, there's no interest, because you have to pay it off within 30 days. No credit card has interest when you pay it off within 30 days. And then they give you points. That's the big thing. They give you points. So, Amex, they'll give you about $200 if you spend $3,000 within the first 3 months. Great card to have. And these can all be found on nav.com. Just create a profile, go to the credit card section, and it shows you what you qualify for. Now, this next card you do have to get outside of Nav. It's the only card that I've seen that you have to get outside of Nav, which is PNC Cash Card, or PNC Business Cash Card. This one I like because it's has a decent limit, 0% interest for about 6 months. It does have a few rewards points on there. Not the best rewards program, but the one time I like PNC is because of this credit card. So those are my 3 top cards when it comes to getting a business credit card. Now let's go to the next one, which is the Capital One card. Capital One card is good to have just to have it. However, this card is tied to your personal credit, meaning that not only do you have to use your personal credit score to get the card, as soon as you use the card, it comes on your personal credit report. So you'll see it on your credit report even though it's a business credit card, which really makes no sense to me. So that's why I don't really like the Capital One card. You know, they have the Spark. They have a lot of these different. So they have the green, the orange, and I believe they have the green, orange, and then the blue card. I don't really like this card. I like this card only for emergencies or when you really have a great investment. They do also offer 0% interest for some of these cards. You know, so just something to keep in mind. But overall, yeah, so I don't really like the Capital One card only because it's tied to your personal credit, meaning that it shows up on your personal credit report. All these other cards, the Chase Inc., the Amex, and the PNC, they don't pop up on your personal credit report. So just something to keep in mind is these cards don't necessarily pop up on your personal credit report. Yeah, so I would say that's a little bit about business credit cards. Now let's go into business lines of credit. Remember, all credit cards are lines of credit, but not all lines of credit are credit cards. So a line of credit, the difference between a line of credit and a credit card, or a traditional line of credit and a credit card, is that a line of credit allows you to pull the cash immediately. So with these credit cards, you can't technically go to, you can't really, unless you do a cash advance, you can't really go to an ATM and pull out the cash. With these lines of credit, you tell them, hey, I need $10,000 by tomorrow. They'll wire you $10,000 directly into your bank account by tomorrow. So lines of credit, allow you to gain instant access to cash. They do have a pretty high interest rate, just like credit cards. So anytime, the shorter the term of something, or the short nature of something, the higher the interest rate usually. So lines of credit are great to have. Remember, it's best to have these things when you don't need it versus not having it when you do need it. So if you can get a line of credit, then please go ahead and get it. In order to get a business line of credit, you usually have to be in business for at least 1 year. You usually have to have at least $5,000 per month in gross revenue. And you usually have to have decent personal credit. Not great personal credit, but decent personal credit, at least a 600. And I forgot to mention the Chase Inc. card does require a 700 credit score. The PNC, for example, might only require 680. So these business credit cards do require that you do have a decent credit score. These lines of credit, since they require you to be more established before you even get it, they're very lenient when it comes to your credit score. And the best sources when it comes to lines of credit, you have Kabbage. Kabbage is pretty good. You have Bluevine. You also have StreetShares. You have Fundbox. Fundbox is also a great source. And those are your main ones, essentially. Those are your primary ones when it comes to business lines of credit. Fundbox also does have another type of business line of credit, business funding. There's receivables factoring, essentially, or basically buying your accounts receivables. So let's say somebody owes you money, but you really need that money. You can quote unquote sell it, or you can basically get a line of credit backed by that receivable from a company like Fundbox, and they'll wire you the money the next day or however soon you need it. It's very great for businesses that are, they require a lot of capital, but they also have a lot of receivables on hand. And when I say receivables, simply people that owe you money. Last but not least, we have the term loans. Term loans, in my opinion, please, this is very important. In my opinion, try to stay away from term loans as much as you can. For one, with a term loan, you have to pay it back immediately. So the moment you take out that loan, some do daily payments. You have to pay it back the next day, every day for the next 90 days. I will be the first to say I have taken out a term loan before, and it is painful. Now, if you can get a 5-year, 10-year, something like that, that's awesome. But these daily payments, weekly payments, those can really sting, especially if your cash flow is low. So you have to be very careful when it comes to term loans. Before you borrow money, please know what it is that you're using it for. It's very important. Now, when it comes to a line of credit, you don't have to have any use for it. You just get it. Just have it. You don't have to take the money out per se. Just have it, just so you can you can have something going. But ultimately, it's much better to have a in my opinion, it's much better to keep a business line of credit or a credit card as opposed to a term loan. I'm not a big fan of term loans. As somebody who's been bitten up by it, I don't think it's the best option for a business. Now, the only time I believe this would be a great option is when you know you have something that you need to buy and it's going to generate you money quickly. For example, a real estate flip that you just need term loan to get the rehab done. Or you need money to buy some raw materials and finish that product that you know has pre-orders out right now. So things that you know you can get money immediately, those are great for term loans. So tax season, we usually get a term loan just to beef up advertising because we know we'll make this money back within the next 2 months or so. So that's my opinion when it comes to term loans. I'm a huge fan of lines of credit because, hey, that great investment might pop up. You might need the money. Boom. Draw from your line of credit. Pay it back however much needs to be paid. And, always have a game plan. Always know how to exit before you go into something. You should never enter a door unless you know how to exit that door. So very important when it comes to investing, borrow money. The reason why so many people get themselves in trouble is because they don't know how to get out. They never established a game plan for getting out. They only knew how to get in. They only seen that 0% interest rate. But how do you get out of that zero, or how do you get out of that loan when things get hard? So my opinion is have an exit strategy when it comes to borrowing money. Borrowing money is one of the most dangerous things you can do, just like crossing the street, but it's when it comes to borrowing money, you really have to know what it is you're doing. You don't just borrow money just because you feel like it, or borrow money just because you think something might happen. You don't just think. You have to know something is going to happen before you borrow that money. You have to know that, hey, if I finish this product with this $10,000 that I'm going to borrow, I'm going to make a profit of $30,000. You have to know that before you go out and borrow it. Sometimes you can take gambles, but you have to be very, very careful. One of the worst ways to run a business is to do it from thin air, or to just pull something from a hat. That's not how you run a business. Businesses are well laid out strategies, strategic game plans in order to get yourself going. So that's really my advice when it comes to business credit. I know this segment is pretty short. If anyone has any questions, please chime in on our Facebook Live. We're streaming live on Facebook right now at Jeff Badu. You can call into the studio 773-942-7167. But when it comes to business credit, please go. It's great to have it. I'm absolutely saying you should have it. You should have a line of credit. You should have a business credit card, at least one. You don't have to go out and get 10 like I did. At least one is fine. Use it for your daily expenses or monthly expenses. Pay it off. That's if you have the cash, pay off the card. That's my advice, because when that interest rate starts, trust me, if you can find anybody on this planet that can make more than 20% interest consistently, or 20% on their money consistently, I would really like to meet that person. Of course, people like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, they can do it consistently. They have the secret, quote-unquote, secret formulas. But everyday individuals don't have that secret formula. So very important to note that. So this is really a short segment. Didn't want to hold you up too much. This is a segment on business credit, where we basically talked about the importance of establishing business credit early. We also talked about why it is that you need business credit, not just early, but just throughout a business's cycle. And then you need personal credit in order to get business credit. And then we also shared some of the sources to get the credit or to get the score, which is nav.com. You also should get a Duns & Bradstreet or DNB number. And we talked about the top business credit cards out there. We talked about the best term lines of credit out there. As far as term loans, there's not really anything that's great or spectacular sources out there, but there's a lot of these people that will call you saying, hey, we have the best rates, we can get you out of your daily payments, this and that. You have to be careful. Actually, my iPhone now has a feature now where it can tell me, hey, this is a telemarketer, this is spam risk or spam call, which I love that feature, by the way. iPhone, please keep it up. Very proud shareholder of Apple right now for that. But yeah, that's essentially the segment. Didn't want to keep you guys too long. Definitely thank you all for tuning in to WJC 98.3 FM, your voice, your music, your station. I am hosting a birthday party this Friday. If you need the details, please contact me directly. I'll send you the details. But my birthday is this Wednesday, and I'll be celebrating on Friday. So all are welcome to attend the party. Very special night, and it will be a big-time celebration. But thank you all for tuning in to WJC 98.3 FM, your voice, your music, your station. My name is Jeff Badu, and I look forward to continuously delivering you all some content. Thank you.
You're listening to WGHC 98.3 FM.
Why you, but we are nothing's friend. From see the first time, after trusting skin. Come on, why you get anything you like. Long as you are right, then me alright. Me know your man, that's why I'm alive.
Your voice, your music.
Whether me in a skirt or jeans or short shorts, head race when me walk past. Me feel the eyes, believe the eye. Me love the lights, me do it